Alright, so here we are for round one with our Bug Tron deck. We are going to keep this hand. We're on the play. Got 2 Tron lands, a Prophetic Prism, and a Crop Rotation. So we'll have turn 3 Tron with a color as well. So that's going to be pretty nice. We're going to start off with our Mine. You usually want to try to play the tower last if you can. It's a small thing, but if you don't have Tron and you have to tap some lands, and then the final Tron piece you get is the tower, that means that you get to get 3 mana from your newly activated Tron land. So I'm going to be F6ing a lot in this match simply because we have a pretty slow deck. Like if I Ghostly Flicker someone out with this Dinrova Horror, it's going to take a while to do that. So let's see what our opponent does this turn. Okay, they're holding up a counterspell here, so I'm just going to pass the turn with their Shimmering Grotto. If they tap any mana, I'm going to Crop Rotation and get Tron. I don't really need this second, the Shimmering Grotto mana. So here, I could Crop Rotation, but I can't really hold up Condescend for anything because I can only Condescend for 0, so not worth it. So I'm gonna pass the turn. Through Muldrifter. I think I'm just gonna pass here. I really can't afford to get my Crop Rotation countered, so I'm not gonna play anything here. If they don't cast anything at all, I'm gonna Ghostly Flicker my Prophetic Prism. Alright, they missed their land drop too, but so I'm gonna give them a chance if they want to counter this, and hopefully they do. So I'm gonna Ghostly Flicker the tower plus the Prophetic Prism. And they can do whatever they want about it. I just want to draw a card. Yeah, they let it happen because it doesn't matter at all. Alright, we drew another Mine. Alright, I'm actually going to play the island, I think. Yeah, so I'm going to Crop Rotation at the end of their turn if they don't play anything this time, because I will have enough mana here to Condescend. Brainstorm, huh? Yeah, that means we're going to play Crop Rotation. Brainstorm means that they're probably actually like on an Angler Delver kind of list. At least that's what I would expect here. And we can always get that Shimmering Grotto back with Pulse Marasa if we need it later. We're going to grab our Power Plant here. And we don't care about this Brainstorm. They can resolve it. Even if they want to Thought Scour themselves, that's cool. And they don't. See if they got locked. They did not get Brainstorm locked. Alright. So I don't think our opponent's going to be able to counter our Muldrifter twice. So I'm going to run it out there. I'm not playing the Dinrova Horror because I don't want them to be able to counter it, and I only have 2 colored mana here. The reason I had played the Mine instead of the Thornwood Falls is now I can Condescend this, which I wouldn't have been able to do. Well, I would have been able to Condescend this one, but if they had played just Counterspell, I wouldn't have been able to Condescend. So if we get really lucky, we'll draw a Dinrova Horror. I don't really think I necessarily want another Dinrova Horror. I think the one I have is going to be plenty, so I'm actually going to put both of these to the bottom. Hopefully we'll draw a Prophetic Prism. That would be a really nice draw. Okay, Bojuka Bog could be decent next turn. That'll get us a little bit closer to this Dinrova Horror. It's our opponent's on Brainstorm, so I actually don't really know exactly what our opponent's doing. They're probably on sort of a Delve kind of creature list, but I haven't really seen them play anything yet. Well, let's attack. And I think I'm just going to play this Thornwood Falls and then hold up Forbidden Alchemy. There's no real reason for me to play anything. I really want them to kill my Muldrifter, that would be great. I don't know what they have in their hand. They missed a bunch of they missed a land drop earlier, so I know they don't have a ton of lands in there. Like they probably don't have any more at all actually. Okay, so this is pretty nice. I'm actually going to grab the Prohibit, I think, and put the Teachings in the bin, and then I'm going to flashback this Forbidden Alchemy. Yeah. So we're pulling pretty far ahead at this point. Like we're ahead on board. We are going to have 7 cards in our hand. At this point I think I have enough colored mana, so I'm going to go grab another Mine. Okay, guess I should have grabbed another color because the tower is not something that I really need at this point. I really want to get some value out of this Bojuka Bog. So let's see, next turn. So I don't think I'm really going to cast anything this turn, but next turn I want to be able to cast Mnemonic Wall and Dinrovahor and Prohibit all in the same turn. So that means I need to have 13 mana. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so we can easily get up to 13, and we need to make sure we have enough colored sources. So I've got 2 blue, and then I've got another color. So I actually need to play this Bojuka Bog if I want to cast all those things next turn. You do have to think a little bit ahead what your plan is going to be, and that might not be the right plan, but that's the plan I'm thinking of executing. So single spell starter sprite, don't care about that at all. So see if our opponent is going to put in a ninja here. I will fog if they put in a ninja. Yeah, pretty predictable play. Guess I'll wait for him to come in. Alright, I don't want to lose my black mana, so I guess I will just Moment's Peace right here. If my opponent wants to counter this or something, they don't. Don't really want them to draw a card. And next turn I'll just leave this I'll leave this Muldrifter back next turn to block it. I think I will flashback my Teachings right here. I can still hold up Prohibit if I do it now. Yeah, let's grab something with this. I think I'm gonna grab I already have a Prohibit, which would be pretty good for protecting my stuff on my turn. Let's grab this is a tough choice. I think I actually want the Ghostly Flicker. Yeah, well, there's already a Ghostly Flicker in my graveyard. I can get back with Mnemonic Wall. So actually, let's go for the Exclude. I think. Yeah, Exclude seems nice. This will make it so they basically can't cast a creature in their second main phase here, unless they have a counterspell to protect it. Alright. We drew a map. Doesn't really matter. So I'm going to start with the Mnemonic Wall. Actually, the Dinrovahor matters a lot less than the Mnemonic Wall, so let's just cast the Dinrovahor first, I think. Neither of them matters too much because I'm going to be able to pulse back whichever one I want. Yep, so they have a counterspell, of course, and I'm going to prohibit that. I'm actually going to be casting the Mnemonic Wall here, so let's see. So if I use the tower, I'll have 1 floating, and then I'll be able to mine and Thornwood Falls and hold up 3 for the tower. I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm guessing this will also get countered. But even if it does, I'll be able to resolve my Mnemonic Wall and pick up a Flicker. Okay. Bounce one of their lands. They didn't float any mana, which you should definitely do. I'm gonna play this mnemonic wall. And I'll get back our flicker, and then I'll play this map. It's gonna be pretty tough for us to lose from this spot. I think we've pretty much got this one locked up at this point. Unless they have, like, they really have to, well, I mean, even if they kill all of our creatures this turn, I'll be able to pulse back the wall, get back the pulse back the horror, and then start flickering them. I am going to attack this turn. I've got 2 blockers for this ninja, I think. Nah, I don't need to attack. I'm not going to attack. The 2 damage just doesn't matter. Whereas their card could matter if they like have a Doomblade, and I don't know what they would have for the Dinrova Horde that can even kill it, but I'm not risking it. Looks like they might be playing their own Muldrifter. Oh, an Angler. You know what? That card is not very good against Dinrova Horror and Mnemonic Wall. In fact, it's kind of obscenely bad against those 2. So our opponent is about to feel sad, I think. So Grimag Angler back to hand. We'll get our Ghostly Flicker back. Let's see what our see if our opponent what they discard. Okay, Swamp. Do this a few more times. I'm just gonna do it all the times that I can, which is 1 more time. I'm gonna put 2 lands back. The Flicker, put back another land. I'm gonna keep putting back their tap lands. See if I can always yield to that. I think I can always yield to the Mnemonic Wall, but I can't always, yes. Okay, our opponent concedes. It was pretty much over, especially since I have this Pulse. They don't know I have the Pulse in hand, but they'd be pretty hard pressed to come back from that. So our opponent's on some kind of blue-black, I assume Ghostly Flicker deck with Spellstutter Sprites and Ninjas, and I don't know exactly what they're doing, but it's basically just blue-black, kind of efficient good stuff probably. Let's put up our game record 1. So you guys might be noticing now if you watch the deck tech that I have a Pyroblast in here now that wasn't in there during the deck tech. The deck that was posted on MTG Goldfish only had 14 cards in the sideboard and kind of forgot to add one until right now. So before the league started, I was able to add, I just tossed in this Pyroblast. I want to see how it does if we have red mana often enough for it. We've got 3 Shimmering Grottos, and then we've got 4 Prophetic Prisms, so if we can play Ancient Grudge and Electrickery, I assume we can play this Pyroblast too. So I'm going to bring in the Pyroblast, the Probe, and then 3 Dispels. So we have better threats and stuff than they do, so we want to be the one resolving our spells. So I've got these Dispels. Cards that don't matter as much, these Fogs are pretty bad. I don't really think I want any of them. I definitely I'm going to take out 2, and I might want to take out the 3rd one. Yeah, I think we're taking all 3 of these out. After that, I actually don't really know exactly what I want to take out. Everything else is pretty good. Exclude is still pretty good against them. They have a lot of creatures. I still like the Prohibits. It counters all their counter spells, so that's pretty good. Pulse of Marasa, I still want at least 1. In fact, I'm considering if I want the other one, because it gets back just stuff that's been countered. Condescend is probably one of our worst counter spells now that I'm bringing in some better ones, so I think I'll take 1 Condescend out. And then I don't think I want this Pulse, so I need to take out 1 more thing. Everything else is pretty good. I think maybe I'll take out a Seagate Oracle. They're not an aggressive deck, so I don't really need the early blockers and stuff. Let's go with this. Yeah, I think this looks good. I don't see anything else in here that's really terrible, so we'll just keep it this way. I also don't know exactly what style of deck our opponent's on. Alright, this hand's pretty good. Hopefully our Prophetic Prism doesn't get countered on turn 2. I kind of expect it will, but we'll see what happens. Delver. Oh, Fairy. Okay. Got the power plant. We do need to draw at least one more land. Alright, so they probably are not going to be able to counter this. In fact, they might ninja right now. Okay, they didn't. Unfortunately, I suspect we are going to get Spell Stutter sprited here, which is really bad for us. But I can't really do anything about it, so I'm just going to have to play this. It's pretty obvious they telegraphed it completely, but I also don't have any way to do anything about it, so... It's just one of those fairy draws that they sometimes get where you just can't beat it. It's possible I should have brought in Electrickery, but I don't really think that that's the sort of thing we wanted. So I'm gonna lead off with, I think I'm gonna lead off with the Dimir Signet, because if it resolves, I'll be able to cast Prophetic Prism after. Okay. Let's see if this resolves. Okay, so they didn't have another Spell Stutter, so that's pretty good for us. We actually have a chance now. Stormbound Geist. Alright, so we're getting kind of aggroed out here, but we are going to have Tron this turn. Okay, so we super have Tron this turn. So one thing that's nice about the Dimir Signet that you don't get to do in the... you don't really get to do in the normal... kind of like the Is It Signet versions of the deck, you don't get to actually use both colors of mana very often, but here we get to use the blue and the black. So here I have to decide if I want to put this Stormbound Geist back in their hand, and I think that's what I'm going to do. It's possible I should hit this Dismal Backwater. Snuff out. Interesting. No, I can't even counter that. What I can do is Ghostly Flicker my Horror and my Prophetic Prism. Let's see. Yeah, I might as well do that right now. So Snuff Out, for those of you who don't know, it can be free. If they don't have any... Or if they have a swamp, you can cast it for free and pay 4 life. So he's going to kill his Stormbound Geist and it's going to come back. I actually don't really need to Ghostly Flicker now, but I kind of want to do it while he's tapped out. So let's just do that. Let's put that guy back in your hand again. Another option we could have done is when it died, I could have crop rotationed for this Bojuka Bog, but honestly not super interested in doing that. I don't really want a crop rotation for the bug. Like, I don't want to crop rotation any of our stuff away for that. Let's see what our opponent's got. We actually don't have much left in our hand, and I probably should have just held up the mana so I could prohibit again. Exclude. Not great right now. So let's get rid of their graveyard. That way they can't cast any Gurmag Anglers that they have. One thing that I don't know about this deck is if Bojuka Bog should be in here or if this should be like a Haunted Fengraf, because right now I have this crop rotation and I can't get any card advantage spells at all with it. Hopefully our opponent didn't draw a Ninja at all. Okay. Alright, perfect. I will exclude this. Ooh, and we drew Teachings, so that's going to be pretty tough for our opponent to deal with. Teachings here. I think I'm going to Teachings for... what should I get? So, this Pyroblast can actually kill one of their creatures, which would be nice. I think I actually just want another Flicker at this point. Yeah, I think it's another Flicker. So let's grab another Flicker. Alright, Shimmering Grotto. Probably shouldn't have played the Shimmering Grotto. I should have probably held it until after I cast this Muldrifter. So I'm gonna evoke the Muldrifter and then I'm gonna flicker that. Make sure you draw your cards first usually. Okay, and then let's tap these. I don't need the black mana for anything. Our opponent actually missed a land drop last turn, so I think I'm going to... No, I'll still put the Stormbound Geist back in their hand. Alright, so I drew a Condescend, which should probably pretty much lock up this game at this point. Don't really want to play anything else, so I can hold up Condescend and Prohibit. I don't know what our opponent could possibly play that would get them out of this, but yeah, they've conceded. So we did it. We won our first match. This is probably the type of matchup that's really good for our deck. Typically these kind of slower control mid-range kind of decks are what Tron just feeds on. It's not fast enough to kill us before we can get online, and we can cast way more spells in a turn than they can. So off to a good start, 1-0, and let's see how we do next round.